goddess of illusion. I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out, stop it. I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second nature to me, just to be this out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out. I'm not the way, no way. I have seen the way. Seek, speak, sleep, repeat. There's no way.
Hello. Welcome everybody to the 509 Divine Punch podcast. I am your host, Joseph Daniel Pena, and today it is February 10th, 2024. Hey guys, I hope you guys are having a great evening. It is a late night broadcast over here on the coast, and you know that we are bringing you guys the truth. And today we have Heart and Soil Seeds founder Brett Anderson. But first and foremost, guys, remember, like, subscribe, share, tell everybody around that this is happening right now. So we can all go ahead and get along together, grab and feel better. Yes. All right. So there's a lot of sponsors down below, like our brother right here with his Heart and Soil Seeds sponsorship. So go ahead and check out heartandsoilseeds.com and you use coupon code 509. I'm not even sure what percentile the order is, but he has hemp clothing and he has seeds and you know, I think I just said that the hey Brett, what is your website's name?
Yeah, so it's heartandsoilproject.com. If you go to heartandsoilproject.com/shop, that'll take you to the seeds and the nutrients and all that stuff. Right now we're running a code, We Love You, gets you 40% off right now. So yeah, we had that code going for you last time, and then I think it was going for like a month or something like that and expired. But everyone can use We Love You at checkout for 40% off of your order. So if you have any questions, you can always email me at banderson@heartandsoilproject.com. But yeah, other than that, we'll go from there.
Wow, hey, dude, thanks for telling me that the coupon was expired. I don't want to be giving no expired coupons out, so appreciate that. We'll go ahead and have to update that. But yeah, so guys, so here it is. What I want the introduction. If I can pull this up, geez, the Heart and Soil Project and shares his passion for hemp, sustainable bioagriculture, biodiversity, and premium quality products and services around the world. He aims to make a positive impact on the community, grassroots involvement with special attention to cannabis-related causes. He deals with breeders and distributors of high-quality and genetically unique cannabis seeds from around the world, providing the quality CBD products and sought-after products that the world needs in large and small production qualities. In a blend of new age innovation and old world sustainability practices, he is able to achieve top of the market quality and competitive production practices, which equate to the profits made with pride. And you know, in a day and age where companies are very two-faced and they're very woke, and they're very I don't know how to say this. they're crashing and crumbling, and they're turning a blind eye to what the actual consumer wants. Brett Anderson right here does not. He asks questions online and Instagram and asks for feedback all the time, and he caters to what you guys are saying and what we are saying. I know that in the Telegram and or no Telegram Discord, in the Discord, it's pretty active. So if you guys want to go ahead and get in touch, you guys can definitely feel that this is a interpersonal community, and we all reach out to each other. On any need that you have, if you're in a different part of the world and you need some advice on what to grow with, not just cannabis or hemp, but actual anything. There's quite a bit of educated people alongside community that he has grown. So it's definitely a good thing to go ahead and get along with this, because I mean, guys, we all are thinking about growing our food these days, and I know it wasn't just me a couple years ago. This was something a little bit to happen. Well, I mean, this is happening everywhere. This is not just a little bit. This is happening everywhere on a boom. It seems like your grannies wanted to grow, the youngins wanted to grow, and with the way that the prices are going, definitely everybody wants to grow. And if we see what's going on in a different light, there's a whole bunch of genetically modified compounds and artificial, products that are going into these things. And Brett right here definitely doesn't like to deal with that. So in a day and age where you can't even trust what's in your product, you can go ahead and bet that Brett has it on right. And I go ahead and appreciate that. That's why I'm love working with this dude. So Brett, what's up, man? How's it been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Been busy doing all kinds of different things. We I think last time I talked to you, we were just starting to acquire some animals here on the farm, or the homestead, whatever you want to call it. We got about 4 acres here in Colorado, and with some water access and different things. But we've just been increasing the amount of animals that we've had. We have pigs and sheep and goats and chickens and geese of all sizes and shapes and ages, and it's been keeping me very busy this winter. Along with the indoor grow, we popped a bunch of seeds from a lot of different breeders, including our own stuff, and in addition to some more newer stuff, we popped a bunch of original Peruvian heirloom that we actually, from some of the first stuff that we actually made. We're kind of taking it back to, our roots, and, go back to like the pure Peruvian heirloom, production. That's the next project that we're working on next is the pure Peruvian F2, seeds, and then also a bunch of different hybrids from, a lot of different stuff that we've made, a lot of awesome stuff we found along the way. So, we just got done, cleaning out the grow, and this kind of some of this area before the grow was just a mess because we had just been transplanting and culling and defanning and just kind of making a mess in there over the last couple of weeks. And yesterday we got in there and just cleaned it up and made it a little bit more tidy, and culled some stuff, and we're going to be flipping things to flower here soon for seed production. So that's always exciting. Oh, I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Oh,
I know. I did it too.
yeah. So my bad. Uh, I just got to ask them, because this is a paranormal podcast. And you live out there in Colorado. Have you ever seen any UFOs? Have you ever heard about any those cattle mutilations that you got going on out there? Because you're not too far from Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, well, it's kind of a state or two away, right? But just what what you got? Is there anything out there that you heard or seen?
No, I mean I haven't seen anything personally. Uh, the Cosmic Highway out near Moffett, Colorado, um, is well known for UFO sightings out in the San Luis Valley. I spent a lot of time out there, and I've known people who have seen stuff out there. And there's actually been were some sightings of UFOs in Denver and like around Aurora area. I think it was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but nothing personally. So, I mean, I'm ready. I mean, there's definitely, I believe that there's something out there, but I haven't experienced any of it personally. I will say that there's probably some interesting things to come here in the near future you know, with aliens. I wouldn't be surprised if the government tries to fuck with us a little bit. So be prepared.
Well, are you a firm believer that there is these other dimensions or other extraterrestrial entities or and Bigfoot and stuff? I mean, because I mean, you're also in Bigfoot, area where there's a lot of trees and a lot of Bigfoots. I'm in
Yeah, I mean, in
Washington State.
terms
There's
of
a lot
like,
of Bigfoots out here.
yeah, Bigfoot. I think there's probably something. Yeah, there's probably a couple different things. A lot of species that we don't know about. So, people say that Bigfoot walks through dimensions and all that. I don't know about any of that stuff. But I mean, there's definitely aliens, somewhere. And I believe that there's even aliens, among us, and have been from the very beginning. I mean, we're aliens. There's a lot of theories that we're the aliens. That were kind of put here by the Anaki people, before the givers of the technology to the Egyptians. When they came, they left bred with the humans here, and there's thoughts that that's the aliens is we are product of that. So there's a lot of theories. I don't subscribe to any one idea. uh, but there's we don't know most of what happens outside our small little sphere of the solar system.
But were you raised Christians, Catholic, or are you Christian or Catholic or non-denominational or anything
I
right
mean,
now, or how do you
I
feel
was
about
raised,
that?
yeah, I was raised Christian, but I definitely don't subscribe to religion uh, these days.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject. I feel it, man. But speaking a little bit about the Colorado and the surrounding areas, my buddy over there, Simon Hine, he's written a few books and he works over there at Boulder, Colorado, at one of the I don't know one of his labs, I guess. He does remote viewing research and Bigfoot research and research into other dimensions. Um, yeah, dude, he's heavy on the side that all of this is like this quantum network and quantum field that Bigfoots tap into this 0 point energy and like can traverse through the dimensions where we can't see it with all these fine different frequencies and these fine different portals and these different things, these different dimensions that it's fascinating, right? That whole topic. But hey,
Oh yeah,
you're right by
yeah.
Denver. You're right by Denver Airport. Have you been to Denver
Oh
Airport?
yeah, the Denver. Yeah, I've been in DIA, and I've heard some stories about it for people who've worked there and went down to levels that they weren't supposed to get level access to, and like kind of got turned around by people with guns and were like, hey, you're not supposed to be here, and there's like levels below the levels in that fucking place. So they're always doing. They've been doing construction there since like the day that it opened, and like I mean,
It
they're always
still hasn't
doing
stopped.
new construction, and it's like weird. Yeah, it's very weird. And I drop my mom off there a lot. She comes and visits, a couple times a year, and my mother-in-law and a lot of people come and visit. So we're at DIA, almost monthly it seems like. So I go a lot, and like I've been inside there a lot, and there's a time capsule, with the Freemason symbol on there, and there's like all this weird, you know, artwork of like end of days artwork and like, you know, apocalyptic type artwork on the walls, and like it's interesting, you know.
I honestly don't know much of like actually what's there. I've never been there, dude. So if you're telling this, like, yeah, man, be a little descriptive and like if you
Oh,
know
I'll
of
send
anything
you.
that's
Yeah,
specifically that you.
yeah. I mean, you can go. You know, look if you want to pull any of it up. I don't know if you can show any of it, but like basically, you can look up like the artwork at Denver International Airport, and it'll show you. You know, there's like, you know, little kids like, you know, holding flowers like on a grave, and then like, you know, like Nazi looking guys with like gas masks and like all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah. And there's all yeah. I mean, it's just if you go around there, there's a lot of them. There's like by the same artist, just like, and yeah, and there's a lot of theories, and they're always doing like, you know, there's a lot of weird theories around DIA. So, you know, Denver International Airport. So, you know, the marketing team over there at Denver International Airport kind of got clever, and we're like, you know, there's been a bunch of like, you know, posters and things like that. Like, what are they doing? Like, kind of making fun of the conspiracy theorists. Like, maybe it's aliens, maybe it's, you know, maybe it's lizard people, you know, digging holes. Like, they're saying that like on the poster, like making fun of people and their theories, but like sometimes they like put that shit out there in real and like in, you know, they just put it out there and like make you think it's a joke, but I don't know. There's some weird stuff happening there for sure. Like
Nah,
that
man,
place is
I'm a firm believer
that place
in
is
the
so big,
disclosure
and
of like you know
it's not being
they call
used. A lot of the space
it like
isn't being
law.
used.
So yeah, they call it like the law of karma. You know what I mean? Where a lot of these people, if they're doing some really high shit, they're trying to go ahead and like say what they're doing, and like you know they're not really gonna get too much bad energy for it, bad juju if they're doing some real messed up things. And yeah, there's a lot of talks now these days about like deep underground military bases. Like it's in a lot of movies. There's you know a lot of documents coming out. From all sides around the world showing you know ancient and military type of bases. It's even Elon Musk is over there building freaking hundreds of miles of tunnels with his boring machine. And you know that's just the start of it, right? You know there's subterranean tunnels and networks, and even the Professionals podcast. I don't know if you subscribe to them or him, Tony Merkel. He goes real in depth on he's a truck driver, or him and his brother. I think they're truck drivers, or they were, and they have a lot of stories, military minded, and it's like talking about paranormal, and they there's a lot of stories, man, from military people coming from the deep underground military bases and saying that they've seen like reptilians and entities and giants and these shadow people, and it's like so you said that you had some stories or you heard some things from people up in about the deep underground military base, or what's something that you've heard?
Just basically, there was a friend of mine that was doing like construction work there and building like the kiosks there, like that. You buy your lotion from, yeah, all the kiosks that you see at DIA, whatever they're selling that day. They put a bunch of them up when it first, when like different new wings were opening up, or new terminals were opening up. He put all these new kiosks up. Well, all the materials for all these kiosks were like shipped in underground, through like there's like layers like below where like there's like you drop people off at the airport at one spot, and you pick people up at the airport at another spot, and then like taxis and buses and like stuff go to another spot, and it's all like down below, right? And then like there's even layers below that, so like there's stuff that gets delivered, in like areas below that for like all, so like it's not interrupting traffic or whatever. So like that's where he was supposed to be going to pick up his stuff, like for whatever he was working on. Well, he somehow had gotten pushed the wrong button or like whatever. And he's like ended up like multiple floors below the layer he was supposed to be on, and like went out, and there was like a guy with a gun saying like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here." Like, he didn't like point the gun at him or whatever, but it was like there was like a long, 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 long hallway that he couldn't even see all the way at the end, You know, it was like he like kind of poked his head down one way and poked his head down like both ways. It was like you couldn't even see the end, and it was like, and the guy was like, "You need to go back up now," you know, and he like, so that was weird that like he didn't even know that like on the number thing it didn't even exist, like it wasn't even like an option to press, and it like went below that, and so he was, you know, that was weird. That you know, there's definitely stuff below. There's layers and layers below, and there's vent holes, you know, and like things miles and miles away from where the airport is. You know, if you look at the area that is owned by the airport and like all those, you know, it takes like a very small portion of it. There's like a big area of land that they don't use for anything. But I think that's a lot of area where they're doing like they're tunneling and they're going underneath those areas. But you know, who knows? And there was a lot of evidence, or there was, you know, there was a situation where supposedly, like whenever I think it was Obama, whenever he was the president, he came to DIA, and but he never left. Like he only came. He flew into Denver International Airport, and then he left. He like, but supposedly during the time that he was there was like a comet or something, like a meteor that like passed really close to the Earth, and they were like scared. Like, but it was like during that same time period where he was there only for one day at DIA. So there's a lot of like I've seen a lot of, you know, things about DI, and like one of them was pointing to like different you know, higher level people or presidents that like during times of trouble, like either globally or whatever, that they like came to DIA, and there's no evidence of them staying at like any hotels there. And before there wasn't. Now there's a hotel called the Westin there, but it just recently was built not too long ago. So like it was, you know, but there's a lot of evidence that like a lot of people were coming to Denver International Airport, staying for a day or two, and then leaving. But there's no like place for them to stay there that anybody knows about. So obviously, there's a place for them to do something. So yeah, just interesting stuff. Uh, I think you're on mute again.
Oh yeah, my bad. So so isn't it odd that you know, we see in all these movies like Resident Evil that there's these, you know, large military complexes that go down like seemingly hundreds of miles. And yeah, Resident Evil has one of the most interesting you know, ideas on it, right? It shows literally tunnel networks going all these different ways, and that's not the first time I've heard that. You know, when you're talking about like, you think that there's tunnels being built, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there is tunnels being built everywhere. They constantly say that they want to expand. There's this show that I like. I like referencing shows here, and there's a show on Netflix called Seven Seeds, and it's an anime. I think it's like one season or two seasons, and it's like Japanese, but society pretty much gets taken out by like this huge, I don't know, flood or apocalypse type of scenario, right? But the military, what they did was they like tried getting as many people as they who might be saviors and putting them underneath to be saved, and like they went down into these tunnels and bunkers, and like the tunnel networks go miles, and then they're like they're connected with train stations, trainways, railways, and you know, there's tunnels underneath tunnels, and there's like huge cities underneath the, you know, pretty much underneath the world. Pretty much, it's pretty fascinating to think like that it's right beneath our own feet, right? And yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty dope, pretty dope, dude. Denver is very interesting. If you think that there's something there like going on, it's probably because there is something there going on. I had no idea that the presidents go there, but it does make me think too how I think it's like in the Stargate series or a couple of these other series where they show like one of America's secret communications bases in the mountain ranges of like you know, Colorado and Denver and these different places. You know, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely bases in the mountains that you don't know about, and there's like a lot of evidence that there's like at least one or two mountains that like kind of like Doctor Evil type shit, where like the fucking mountain just has like a door that just opens up and then closes up, and it looks like a fucking rock, and a plane can fly in or a helicopter can go in, you know. Um, yeah, there's all kinds of crazy shit that happens here. They're always doing patrols and
You know,
like flyovers.
you should check out that confessional podcast, man. I think you might like it. It's right up your alley. He's not too far
Oh,
away.
it'll just send me down the rabbit
With all
hole.
of this, like
I
he
was
comes from like he's
I was a conspiracy theorist, and that's for a long
but you
time.
know
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
so what I want to talk about though also, so we don't get too sidetracked, is that this New York Times had started coming out, I guess, with this article about curing animals with cannabis. And you know, for the longest time I've always said it, and you know, I know you have a tincture on it, so I just want to go ahead and you know, read this for everybody, because you can go ahead and find, I believe you can still find it, CBD for animals on Brett's Heart and Soil Project website. So it says, like many captives, elephants, Nydia suffered from chronic foot problems. Fissures had formed in a 55-year-old Asian elephant's foot pads, and her toenails had cracked and become ingrown. Painful abscesses lingered for months. Nydia had lost her appetite and she was losing weight. Dr. Quetzali Hernandez, the veterinarian in charge of Nydia's care at the wildlife park in Mexico, was desperate. She decided to try CBD, a non-intoxicating therapeutic compound found in cannabis. For help, Dr. Hernandez reached out to Dr. Mish Castillo, the chief veterinary officer at the ICANN Vets, a company engaging in veterinary cannabis education and research in Mexico. To Dr. Castillo's knowledge, no one had purposely given an elephant medical cannabis ever, but he and his colleagues hoped it would reduce Nydia's pain and stimulate her appetite. As they had seen the drug do for cat species, they started low and eventually settled with a dose of 0.02 milligrams of CBD per pound of Nydia's weight. That's a lot. Which she took daily with a chunk of fruit. Calibrated by weight, the dose is 1/10 to 1/40th of what Dr. Castillo gives to dogs or cats. Yet it worked. The first time that the treatment was effective was when Nydia developed a serious case of the munchies. Within days of starting CBD, she went from finishing just 1/3 of her food to virtually all of it, and sometimes even went for seconds. Within 5 weeks, she had gained 555 pounds. After Nydia began eating, her demeanor changed. She was always known as the grumpy one. She used to kick doors. Within the first week to 10 days of her treatment, she started coming out of her enclosure quicker and was in less of a bad mood. Nydia's abscesses also began to heal, probably as a result of CBD's anti-inflammatory effects. For months, the pain in her foot had prevented the elephant from walking down a small hill to drinking fountain in her enclosure, forcing her handlers to give water in a bucket by hose. As her condition improved, she started to visit the fountain again. She just continued to get better. When we were amazed that this happened, it was such a low response dose, which led to us wanting to get this information out before veterinarians start overdosing other species by using the dog or cat dose. Wow, it's pretty fascinating. Medical cannabis for humans is legal and commonly used in other countries, but its ideas in veterinary practices are way behind human medicine and not really allowed. Dozens of scientific studies point to cannabis potential for treating seizures, pain, anxiety, and fear, mostly in dogs, mounting anecdotal evidence from countries like Mexico, where veterinaries can legally administer the plant or its compounds, suggests benefits across a variety of other conditions and species, as varied in parrots, turtles, and hyenas. But despite the promising findings, challenges abound for introducing cannabis into veterinary medicine, which is confusing for law, lingering drug-related stigma, and lack of education. Wow, yeah, man. Dude, what is your take on CBD for animals? You give it to your animals? I know you have animals out there.
Yeah, and we give it to our dogs, and we have a lot. Yeah, we give it to our pets and cats. And our cat and our our dogs that we have, and we've everything from topical, to ingest, tincture for them. Um, yeah, it works great. We have a lot of people that swear by it, especially for anxiety and pain and appetite. Yes, and finding that dose can be, even for dogs and cats, some might need it more or less. Like especially I always tell people to start with less and then work your way up, because you can always add more. Um, but one of those things is finding that dose. But yeah, it definitely works. Definitely have a lot of people that come back time and time again. They say they swear by it. Their pets are in a better mood and less pain and eating more, or sleeping longer, or doing whatever they're looking for. There's a lot of different benefits that it offers.
Yeah, I gave a little bit of CBD to my animals, and I know that they love it. They use the bathroom more regularly. Like they'll tell me when they need to go out. They'll be a little bit more chiller. They won't like wildly bark as much. And it seems like their hair is a little bit healthier. Is there a time where you noticed you know how much CBD helped your animals, or have you always given it to them, or did you not really notice, or like did you notice?
I give it as needed, to be frank with you, but two of the three dogs that I had, have passed away. So I only have one pup left, and she's doing great. She doesn't really have a whole lot of ailments. She's a little slower getting up and down the stairs these days, but in terms of pain, she seems pretty good. And I don't give my pets CBD just all the time. I typically do it when it's needed, if I find like there's an issue. I'm blessed right now to not really have to use it. Our other two dogs, were in pain for a short amount of time. One ended up losing feeling, in his legs, so he didn't really need he had no appetite issues, so he didn't really need it. But we had our dog Charlie, was in the last couple hour or last couple of days, in the last hours, and we were giving him high doses of CBD, so he wasn't like shaking. He was like shaking and seemed like he was in so much pain that he was shaking, and the CBD would stop him from shaking, let him calm down a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's every animal and every person benefits from differently from CBD at different times and different ways. And sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. But I always like to have it on hand in case you do. So, and all of our products, even the pet products, are made to the same standards that the human products are. It's just pure CBD isolate and MCT oil. So MCT oil is great. It's fractionated coconut oil. It's great for a lot of things. It's great for your brain. It's great, for your stomach. It helps with absorption of just about everything because your body craves those types of oils. But same thing with your dog's coat. Your hair gets nice and shiny when you take MCT oil. Really healthy hair follicles. And yeah, and you can actually rub it on. If you have like a psoriasis or dry skin, or whatever, you can do a drop or two of that same pure CBD isolate, and MCT oil on, like, you know any body part, really any body part at all. So it's not going to irritate anything. So it's a great. That's almost why we don't even sell. We had topical products, and we were finding issues with the consistency of them, and we ended up just not using that producer anymore. But the MCT oil actually will penetrate the skin, and you can use that as a topical as well. So it works as that that too. And dog's paws. Have you ever seen like a dog's paws get like really frayed at the tips, or it gets worn? You can rub that CBD tincture and a couple of drops in the dog's paws over a couple day period. That'll help kind of things fuse back together. Yeah, it has a lot of uses.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable as a healer for everything. I I was wondering if there's anything that you noticed if you like ever gave it to chickens or your goats and seeing if there's like anything that
I
you noticed
mean,
differently.
no, I don't do that. I mean, it would get pretty expensive around here to start doing that. Um, yeah, because the bigger the animal. Um, yeah, I mean, we don't. I mean, I'm sure they could benefit.
Well, I
Um,
think you just throw like hemp leaves in their feed, right?
what's that?
I think you could just throw hemp leaves in their feed, and that's probably good enough, right?
I mean, it's totally different thing. I mean, hemp leaves would be more of like a nutrition, and yeah, there's cannabinoids in there, but MCT oil you know, and CBD isolate, is a little bit more direct. Like if you have a sheep that had an issue, needs to relax or something like that. But there's other things that like you can use that are just as as effective and a little bit less expensive over the course. With your humans and pets, loved ones, you do anything, for them. Right? And at the end of the day, a lot of these sheep and goats and whatever they're living, they're not house pets. They're living out there on the farm and they get water and they get hay and they take care of themselves. They have babies by themselves, unassisted, and all that. They're almost like wild animals that we just have a fence around. So and we intend to have them that way. Otherwise, they get dependent on us in a sense that they kind of lose they can lose their natural, you know, um, not defenses, but just like, they become reliant on you. So, yeah, at the end of the day, the farm animals are the farm animals, and the dogs and cats inside the house get a little bit more TLC. But we still love our sheep and goats and chickens, but we haven't given them any CBD. So we haven't really had any issues where they've been sick or needed it or anything. Everyone's been pretty healthy.
Hey, I'm glad that you have a healthy farm out there. That's always good to hear, man. So speaking more about this um, animal research. So it says laws in places like California have begun to make way for veterinary cannabis, and a small but growing number of international veterinarians have united to bring cannabis into mainstream veterinary medicine through education, research, and activism. Cannabis contains a 100 plus chemical compounds, but CBD are the molecules whose therapeutic effects are best understood. While CBD does not discernibly alter consciousness, THC is responsible for the psychoactive side. Across vertebrate species, these molecules interact with the endocannabinoid system, a network of nerve receptors, molecules, and enzymes that keep the body's other organ systems stable. When used medically, cannabis essentially supports the support system. Dr. Casada Andre, the founder of Veterinary Cannabis, a Colorado based group that provides education and certification to animal care workers and consultation services for pet owners and the cannabis industry. A number of countries now legally permit veterinarians to prescribe and administer cannabis. In terms of research and adaptation through Mexico, it is emerging as a world leader. Heck yeah! Viva la Mexico! Since 2019, Dr. Castillo and his colleagues have in medical cannabis use. Dr. Monica Lozana Garza, a veterinarian in Toluca, said she was among the early adopters, but in 2020, her old English sheepdog, Patricio, would sometimes wake up in the night gasping for breath, and so it led her to use CBD and heal him. And you have no idea how much it helped. He could breathe again. He got 2.5 more years of life. Dr. Lozano has treated more than 65 animals or around 65 animals since she used it on her dog. So So it's not just like with with any animal. This can be used with many animals, many different pets. She has also given CBD to animal patients that become stressed during office visits. The easiest way to administer treatment in these cases, she has found, is to nebulize the CBD and essentially create a carrier-sized hot box for the anxious cat or dog. Cannabis can be combined with conventional pharmaceuticals to improve those drugs' results, veterinarians have found. And in some cases, given on its own, cannabis has outperformed existing drugs. Wow. All right. So it says right here in 2023, for example, a 48-year-old rose breasted cockatoo named Riff Raff was hospitalized in Brisbane, Australia, after she stopped eating and was exhibiting signs of pain in connection to pancreatic cancer diagnosis. Four prescription drugs, including opioid, failed to improve her condition. She was not expected to live beyond a week. Wow. She's Euthanasia would have normally been the step, but Miss Jiggling, her owner, asked about CBD. Within a week, Riff Raff's appetite returned, her demeanor improved, and she was chirping again. She could stop taking the prescription medications, which she absolutely hated. Man, when Riff Raff sees the plastic syringe coming, she chirps and taps her foot, which is a happy dance. She knows that her CBD will make her feel better. You know, dude, looking at the world, man, we need more of this. Like, everyone wants to just give up so easily. Like, what's going on in Canada up there, bro? Like the euthanasia. How this just mentioned euthanasia and would have been the first step. There's just this weird push. I don't know if you've seen it, but up in Canada, there's just this weird push going on right now. Like, it's government is giving people money and families money, or giving people like ads on TV to go ahead and be like, hey, if you're feeling depressed or lonely, if you're feeling like you're too sick in this world, you can end it today. Go ahead and see a doctor for euthanasia. And it's like you know, it's up to us, man. Me and you over here, promoting the good, the light, the love, and the healing, man. Because healing our animals, like animals give off so much dopamine and so much so much love and yeah, dopamine, not serotonin, dopamine. Like they give us happy molecules. They give us you know these these things like adrenaline, when we're around them, they give us this love and support. And it's this universal thing. I think over the last 10, 15 years, actually, people have been calling it that, you know, we've been treating animals so bad for the last 100 years or so, maybe, that it's going to come to a point where we're going to realize, like, humans are being treated this way too, and the only way to get back into nature is healing it all, like and healing us, because without them, we're not really much. Uh, dude, that's I had no idea that we could heal more than 50 different animals. With that, it makes me think. Have you started like reaching out there to other places, like maybe getting in touch with some of these places, bro, and offer your assistance, because you're interested, and they're interested too. They need more people like you. That's not too far away. Well, would you ever start a farm? Like a little zoo, like what I mean?
I mean, that's pretty much what we have. It's like we got sheep and goats and chickens and pigs, and we're doing the homestead life right now. I mean, I'm not sure what exactly you would constitute a little farm, but we've harvested crops, we've harvested animals, we've raised multiple varieties of animals, and uh, yeah, that's the vision is keep it going, and eventually sell sell livestock to local homesteaders, and sell our products, our meat, and we've been raising, just like we do land race seed varieties and cannabis varieties. We've opted to do land race and heirloom um, pig varieties, and different goat varieties, um, and just like anything else, you can get run of the mill genetics, that the same guys that are you're buying from at the grocery store are running, or you can get something special. We got Mangalitsa's from Hungary. They're a special breed of woolly haired pig that that are a little bit more hardy than some of the others. We got a Meishan, which is from China. They produce faster and bigger litters than any pig in the world. I think the world record was like 36 piglets in one pig. I mean, the typical piglet range is about 16. For this breed, where most pigs are like 6 to 8 or something like that. So they're super prolific. Yeah, so like we're really trying to and they also have different omega contents in their fat and their one of the few red meat pigs out there. It's about education, just like anything else. There's a lot of variety, a lot of choice out there that people don't really know about, and that's like really what we're all about, is like giving people something a little different. Not just cannabis seeds. We got a lot of different cannabis seeds, and we're going to still obviously still be producing. That's what Heart and Soil is all about. But we're really focusing on regenerative agriculture, regenerative farming, animal husbandry. That's basically where you work. You're loving those animals and respecting those animals basically until the last day where they feed your family or they help feed your community. So yeah, that's what we're doing, is trying to do a little bit of everything all at once with that.
Yo, you know, hey, that's pretty amazing. I've been a huge fan ever since I first started getting your seeds and everything, man. It's helped me out understand like genetics and the way that this works a little bit deeper. Um, so con- continuing on a little bit with this article right here, just to break it down for everybody, if you're thinking about using CBD or THC for your dogs or cats or any animal, let's go ahead and hear from the vet on how you should differentiate what you give your animal. So, while most veterinarians focus on cannabis for pets, Dr. Castillo has taken the lead on using it for zoo animals. So she's taken it to the zoo now, and what she's found at the zoo is pretty interesting. She and her colleagues have given cannabis to more than 50 species since 2020, from mountain tapirs to lions to snakes to capybaras. I don't even know what that is. That's some whatever. They have found that CBD works well with pain, inflammation, osteoarthritis, and allergies, and that it can enhance the effectiveness of treatments for conditions such as cancer. THC, on the other hand, usually gives better results for patients at the zoo struggling with stress and anxiety. Dr. Brio Strago said, it helped bring relief to a parrot who was plucking out her feathers, for example, and a jaguar who was obsessively pacing his enclosure and biting his tail. We tried everything with him, but nothing seemed to work until cannabis appeared. Regardless of the species, veterinarians who worked with cannabis emphasize the importance of starting patients on small doses than working their way up. Cannabis medicine is more challenging than oncology because oncology there's a protocol to follow. Um, so they're working with trial and error, and I think their main goal is to go ahead and heal all animals. It's going to be pretty fascinating now that we have multiple places around the world working on this, and uh, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and move on to this next piece. So I want you to go ahead and say what you think about this. New Jersey introduces digital marijuana cannabis cards with no registration or renewal fees. So it's medical marijuana cannabis cards. Um, yeah. So now with no fees, what's going to happen to? Do you think there's going to be a huge loss to the medical cannabis market, or is it more of like, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not. I think that's a good thing, so they don't have to pay for their registration for their cannabis card. Right now in Colorado, that's what you have to pay for it. You gotta if you want a medical cannabis card, you gotta go pay for the patient visit and then pay for registration for the card. I don't think that's. I think you should be able to get those things on the state's dime, or for free. It's basically just saying that you're a medical patient and that you get to buy either. I mean, it depends on which state you're in, but in Colorado, it's anybody can go buy recreational weed. You don't have to have a card or anything. But in order to buy medical, basically it's the same exact product, but you just get a discount. That's basically how it works. Um, so I, it, there, in other states like Colorado, there's a whole market around the registration and the cannabis card. Where I don't think that that should be a thing. So I agree. I wish Colorado would do something like that.
Yeah, you know what? That is a huge win for everybody out there. I don't think that there should be any registration fees for medical cannabis either, considering how Washington State has the highest cannabis taxes with 37% tax. We're definitely overpaying this for this fine plant, and if we can go ahead and help get everybody off opioids, because that was that's one of the main things that everyone's all addicted to if they're not really using medicinal cannabis, for pain and all that stuff. They're probably on opioids that their doctor is prescribing, and you know, there's even people coming out for it though. I guess I don't know if you heard this. Senator Elizabeth Warren advocates for cannabis descheduling. So pretty much the government is like one step away from decriminalizing cannabis completely, or at least, well, not completely, but putting it down to like what the lowest grade. After Biden signed his cannabis research bill, it was just like a couple weeks ago, I think. I don't know if we had talked last, but yeah, it was a couple weeks ago where finally the paperwork went back into office and into the White House, and it said it was all safe to go ahead and reschedule. So now they're just you know putting in the paperwork to reschedule it. Yeah, dude, huge win finally, right? How long has it been since we've been having to look over our shoulder, bro?
Yeah, it's nice. I've been pretty spoiled here. I've been here since 2011, and yeah, it's been nice. I came from Texas where I was put in jail for cannabis possession multiple times, and always just looking over my shoulder, like you said, and moving to Colorado. I think it was. I mean, yeah. I mean, April 2011 is when I got here in medical. It was before like there. It was before medical was a thing. Everything was rec. So I've gotten to see kind of the evolution of that. So yeah, it's nice. I've been spoiled for the last you know 10 years or whatever, 10 plus years, not having to really look over my shoulder here. It's a beautiful thing for a plant.
Yo, you said you got thrown in jail about for weed way back in the day. Well, tell us
Oh
about that real
yeah,
quick,
yeah,
if you don't mind, if it ain't too personal.
yeah. I mean, just typical. I always had weed on me, and we were just coming back from getting getting beer. Somebody had a fake ID, and there went and got some beer at the store or whatever, and there was a TABC cop, officer, like a tobacco, alcohol, firearms, whatever, like undercover there, and I guess I'd I'd seen that. Oh, I got I got pigs and sheep on the other side of this window making noise. Sorry. Um, yeah, but basically they, were following us, and back to the house, and and we tried to get in the house in time, and the weed was stuck in the car, and we couldn't get it out, in time to run and like ditch it or whatever. So we basically you know, they got inside the house. Me and two other guys had the weed in the car, and we got slapped with the possession. Um, so that just a little bit of weed, um, and yeah, and we had to go to jail, for it was just like 24 hours or whatever, but it sucked. And then there was another time I was actually working in the cannabis industry. It was like 2013, I believe, or something. Uh, but I had been working in the cannabis industry for a couple months, and I came back for Thanksgiving to Texas, and I was riding around with a buddy of mine. Uh, Happened to be, a black guy, and Texas is notorious for just pulling people over, for no reason, and profiling, and that's exactly what happened. And we had some weed on us, and they searched the car, and we all went to jail, just over like a gram of weed, And I was in, like I said, I was currently, I think like a week before that, I had harvested, we had harvested like hundreds of pounds, in like the rooms that we were growing in, at Kind Love or whatever, So there was just, it was just like we're a couple state, 2 states over, one state's growing. I'm literally stepping on more weed, harvesting all these plants. Sometimes buds fall on the ground or whatever. I'm literally stepping on more weed than most of these people have ever seen in their entire lives. And I'm growing it in one state, and we possess, between 4 people, there's 1 gram, and we're gonna smoke a blunt, and we all go to jail. So it was just, and I had to come, and then so you know I got charged there, and I actually had to, um, you know, I got I got sentenced to 48 hours in jail. So basically, I had to come back at a different time and use vacation time from my cannabis job, to go sit in jail for 2 days and serve my time in Texas. And I was pissed, and I was talking all kinds of shit and saying exactly what I just said, that I step on more weed than you guys will ever see in your lives, and you guys aren't stopping nothing. I'm gonna be smoking weed in 2 days. I'll be smoking bowl after bowl after bowl legally. Like, I don't know, this guy's makes you feel like you guys are doing something, but you're not. So that was interesting. So, but that was the
Yeah,
only
dude, you'd
thing
get
I
along
touched
well
on.
over here. Oh yeah, no, you'd get along well over here, man. The West Coast, we smoke a lot. I mean, for a while we were, yeah, we'd get in trouble, and it wouldn't be too fun, just being annoyed by cops, and yeah, being profiled. If it even looks like you're holding something to your mouth and blowing stuff out, oh yeah, go fuck with them real quick. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty bad. So about Texas, how is the weed out there? There's always this stigma that it's always crappy weed, but maybe some rare times you'll find that good, but for the
Yeah,
most part, it's
it's like
pretty
that.
crappy.
It's just like that. Most of the time, just like anywhere, you get some either, a lot of it was coming from other places. It wasn't being grown in Texas,
Not
but
over here, but it's always fine.
it was great. It was, you can always find good stuff. Most of it's being grown. Back in the day, it was being grown in Cali or Colorado or up north or something, and it was being shipped to Texas. So yeah, but I would say the people that were growing in Texas were growing some pretty mediocre weed most of the time. But I mean, I'm sure now everyone's growing everywhere. But yeah, it was pretty rough, honestly. Like, most of the stuff that you were getting, from people, locally was, you know, either from Mexico, or if there's people who are growing it, there. And Texas is like, it's decent, for growing outdoor, but outdoor is still outdoor. The Cali people were growing like the indoor, light depths, or things like that. That were like the light depth stuff. The greenhouse stuff was really the best because you could get it for cheap, and it was really good quality. It was like even like before and like different than hydro. You know, you got that dro. You know, back in the day, that was kind of the same. Um, you know, it was like people were growing hydro. That was like indoor controlled setup. That was usually like the best weed because like people were like it was indoor controlled. People were like becoming scientists, and I got all different types of weed in Texas. Like you name it. Like I've gotten all I got some of the better weed that I've gotten was in Texas, but it came from Las Vegas of all places. So never know.
Was it that lab weed or what? That lab
Oh, I
weed, that
think it was
government
just
weed.
somebody. I
I,
think it
I
was just
remember this
somebody
one
growing
time.
it in their basement or in their garage.
Uh, what about that? What about that red bud? You ever see that out there?
Yeah, man,
That old
we
school.
got like Kentucky red hair and stuff like that. I bought. I mean, the most weed that I've seen, the different varieties that I've seen, have been in my own garden here over the last 10 years, popping seeds from all over the place and just seeing all kinds of different variety. Um, but yeah, I hate to cut it off too soon. We got wife and kiddos will be home here in a bit. I gotta put them to bed. My phone is actually almost about to die. Fucking see if I can. I don't know. We still got a few minutes.
Nah, yeah,
Like
yeah. It's about an hour, and the connection's getting pretty choppy, brother. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That
Well,
happens a lot too. We still have snow
all right.
falling out here, so.
Okay, so I guess what we can finish off with is that you know, over there, I guess in LA, they had an OG cannabis cafe, and it was shut down for 4 years, but now it's being brought back. Is there things like that out there in Colorado where they're pushing for like cannabis with the foods and the restaurants, or is there places like that?
Um, they're trying to do some like lounges and consumption areas. There's a lot of challenges out here with that though. So like it'll happen, it'll go down, and it'll be cool, and they'll like pull everyone's license, and like they can't do it anymore. So like for a while there was like some companies that were doing it, and then most of the places there are like their consumption that we have here are like consumption lounge, like Tetra Lounge, with like it's like a venue and you bring your own weed. They provide like bongs and dab rigs and things like that, but like they don't sell any weed there. So um, what I'd like to see is like a dispensary type thing. We can like buy your weed there, smoke it in the back, hang out, chill, play video games, do whatever. And there used to be a place kind of like that, but it got shut down, and you can't do it anymore. So, you know, one of those things.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see. Hey, you ever check out Casa Bonita out there? The South Park's Taco
You
Shop,
got to
Casa Bonita.
you have to put your name on a waiting list, and I think it's like a raffle. Like I think you can't just go. You can't just go. It's like a whole thing. You gotta really want to go, and like pay to be. You know, I'm not even. We'll see. I'll go eventually, but I'm gonna let the hype die down for a little bit. It's kind of nuts. It's like not even. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but like I know they made it
What
even better
wasn't it
than it
open
was
back in the
before.
day though?
What's that?
Wasn't it open back in the day?
Well, it was open, but I've never been.
Like,
They shut it down for a little while. They
oh,
shut it down. They shut it down for almost 2 years. When the South Park guys bought it, and they like just recently opened it back up. Um, so yeah, it's like people are coming from all over the world, and like you got to put your name in like months and months in advance. It's like there's a long, long line of waiting lists. So one day I'll go check it out, but until then,
what is it? Just a Mexican restaurant?
yeah, it's a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, just check. Yeah, if you don't know what it's got a lot of different things. But it's basically like they got like water, like waterfalls and like people divers diving into the waterfalls. Before it was like pretty crappy Mexican food
Oh,
supposedly. Yeah, but
so
like
so is
now,
that a video where I see divers diving into a pool? That's
Yeah,
Casa Bonita.
yeah. And they have like a pirate cave and like
All right,
a
so
couple other things. It's like it's like for kid, a lot of mainly for kids. It was, but they
uh,
kind of elevated it and like made it like the food's more expensive. You know, it's like they hired like an actual chef. So like it used to be like really cheap food and like kind of just all about the experience, but now it's like the experience is great, but also like the food is good. But like I think it's like more upscale now, like more of like a higher echelon.
hey, you know everyone's upscaling. If you didn't know, Chuck E. Cheese just added a real chef to add some shit to their menu, and so now they have like adult things. It's weird. But hey, right here, Ghetto Bedroom Records said, "Has Brett ever been to the Denver airport?" Yeah, dude, you actually missed quite a big piece. If you go ahead and rewind back, so everybody, if you guys would like to, we talked pretty deep about the Denver airport because that thing goes deep. No pun intended. But yeah, man. He also says he went to jail for less than a gram too. He still has a warrant from 2014. Says Ghetto Bedroom. That's hilarious. I mean, not hilarious. I'm sorry, man.
Not
I apologize.
it's not hilarious, but it's one
I
it's one of those
apologize.
things. It's like we try to laugh about it, but or we try not to cry about it, so we laugh about it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, that for less than a gram, it's like, yeah, unbelievable that these guys would like. It's comical that these guys would even mess with us for that. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, and like that's why I don't even like traveling
Yeah.
these days. It's like I don't even want to go anywhere because I'm safe here. I'm safe here in my Colorado bubble.
What? Yeah. Washington's a great home. It's pretty much like the Shire out here. It's just it's its own little world. Yo, so hey Brett, what you got planned for anything in the future? Any seeds that you're working on right now that you can tell everybody about to go check out? How about that? Anything
Yeah.
new that
So
you can go ahead and tell everyone
yeah,
about?
so we just did a release, kind of like a low key release of the Taste the Rainbow F3 second wave pollination. We did a bunch of a bunch of different crosses with the Taste the Rainbow. Taste the Rainbow is Mandarin Skittles crossed to Peruvian Punch. Lots of sweet candy profiles, sativa dominant hybrid. So that you can check those out. Email me if you want to get in on the new list. You're going to need to email me at banderson@heartandsoilproject.com. They some of them are on the website, but some of them are not. And we're doing a special on everything on and off the website. But we love you. We'll get you 40% off on everything on the website. Nutrients, I think, are excluded from that deal. But if you all orders of $100 or more ship free. So normally shipping for that nutrient stuff is pretty expensive because of the weight. But if you order $100 or more, we ship it for free. Um, what else? We're working on pure Peruvian F2s. So we're looking to, kind of go back to our roots where we first started with the Peruvian heirloom. When we did our hiking of the Inca Trail and got our Peruvian seeds and brought them back and did the whole Peruvian line. Um, we're going to go back and do F2s of those. So that's what we're working on right now. And yeah, so hit up the website or you can email me, like I said, and we can get you, a list of everything that's off the site as well. So, yeah, I appreciate the support and thanks for helping getting the word out there. And yeah, until next time.
Hey, can we buy a pig?
Yeah, if anybody wants to buy a pig, we got lots of pigs. We got potbelly pigs and mangalitsa's uh, and Maishans, and we'll have some piglets available. Actually, well, they'll be born here in about 3 months. So
Hold
yeah, if
on. So
anybody's
wait.
really
So do you also butcher these things? Do you sell like, I don't know, meat? Fucking.
So right, we if people are interested in buying what they call shares, shares of the animals, we sell those. In order for me to sell you meat in Colorado, what I need you to do is you buy you buy a share of the animal while it's still alive, and then when it's butchered, we charge you basically per pound, a designated price, per pound of the meat that you want back. And so, but I can't, technically I'm not a meat seller, so I'm a homesteader. So by Colorado law, if you wanted to buy meat from me, you would just need to purchase a share, basically $100, or whatever, $50. You buy a share in the animal while it's still alive, and then once it's butchered and we have the final weight, you'll pay the total amount of the of either the full animal or half animal or quarter animal. So it kind of depends on what people want. But that's it. You can't just I can't just go to like a farmer's market, for example, and have steaks, individually packaged and sell those to people. I can't do that. I'd have to have a whole nother license and whole nother certification. I have to go jump through some more hoops if I want to do that. And that's just not something I'm wanting to do right now. But I can do all animal, live animal sales and, animal shares. If you want to, like I said, if you wanted to get a half a pig, a full pig, a quarter pig, butchered, we could work that out on an individual or a sheep or a lamb or a pig. I mean, excuse me, or what else am I thinking of? A goat. Like recently we just did two goats. Um, for people who haven't had goat before, it's delicious, super lean, healthy meat.
NVIDIA.
Very clean, really clean. Um, if you've ever had lamb, it's even more mild than that. So yeah, we do. We're just about a year into our journey on the homestead. So usually around year two is when animals are starting to be born and things like that, because our first batch of animals have to reach maturity before they start breeding and things like that. So, but yeah, we're gonna be kind of right now. It's mainly for feeding our family and filling our own freezers and feeding our friends and family. Around. But eventually, we will be, we will have enough to sell to people in small quantities if they want to do it, on an individual basis. So, if that's something you're interested in,
Heck yeah, man.
maybe it.
Yeah, dude, that'd be cool. Like just that's what this network is for, man. If there's anything that you have to offer to the world and the world would like, hey man, that's what we're here for. And I enjoy that you've been here, man. Let's go ahead and tell them where they can find you, Brett. Appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah. You can email me at banderson at heartandsoilproject.com. On Instagram, it's at Heart and Soil Project, and then we also have at Heart and Soil Seeds, and we also have at Heart and Soil CBD and at Heart and Soil Nutrients. We have another backup as well. When we got our main Instagram taken down, so we made a bunch. So we have a few out there. So don't think they're a bunch of scammers. They're really us. We have about 5 accounts out there. But then also on um, on the World Wide Web, our website is heartandsoilproject.com. And if you want to go straight to the seeds and nutrients, you can put /shop at the end. So Heart and Soil Project /shop. My email is banderson at heartandsoilproject.com. On the website, use coupon code We Love You for 40% off, plus all orders of $100 or more ship for free. So, yeah. Oh, through Sunday, we're doubling all orders made on the website. So keep that in mind. So today and tomorrow, all orders, no matter how big or small, will be doubled on the website. So that's what's up.
Sweet. Hey man, hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday night, and it has been a fun one. You guys take care, and hope you guys have a good rest of the evening. Peace. Be blessed. Be high.
Well,
See you guys next time.
appreciate having you on. Appreciate you having me on, man. Have a great night.
Yes, sir. God bless everyone. Peace.
Peace.